You mentioned earlier Measure 110. It is a really hot topic, a controversial one. So let's dig into that a little bit. That is the voter-approved measure that decriminalized possession of small amounts of hard drugs, including fentanyl. And it's something that the legislature took up because people are so upset about it. And the House and Senate, Oregon House and Senate, passed a compromise measure, House Bill 4002. We're taping this Thursday afternoon, and as of now, I haven't heard an announcement that the governor has signed that bill yet, so we're waiting on that. But let's talk a little bit about what's in that compromise bill, and then I'll get your reaction to it. It would make simple drug possession something new, called an unclassified misdemeanor. Someone convicted of the crime would initially get probation, up to 18 months instead of serving jail time. If they violate probation, they could get 30 days in jail. And for a more serious violation, the court could revoke their probation, and the person could get a 6-month jail sentence. And a person could get early release to attend either inpatient or outpatient treatment. And then there's this key piece of the bill that is optional for county prosecutors and law enforcement agencies to adopt. Drug possession would be handled outside the courts, and instead the offender would go into a deflection program and be referred to treatment. As a potential future district attorney, do you support this compromise measure? Does it go far enough?
Well, let me start and say that, Measure 110 was the failed experiment of Mike Schmidt. This was something that he really pushed hard on, and he wanted to see brought forward to Oregonians. And he took a lot of money from outside special interests to really see that come into our community, and it has not served us well. It has failed us in many ways, and it's failed the everyday person struggling with addiction. Throughout this, I have said that it doesn't serve our community, and what I've been very clear about is that we need to be engaged with the everyday person that's struggling with addiction, and engaged with our community. What I put forward was a 6-point plan that people can go to my website and read, and a lot of what's in my plan, thankfully, the legislature did incorporate, and I do support that. I am certainly calling for and asking for more support for our community and for those struggling for addiction. In particular, right now we don't have a sobering center. It's something that we desperately need. I've been advocating for it.
I think we're working on that. We may have one soon.
But it's been years, and it's something that this community has desperately needed, and it's a tool that is important for, again, that person that's struggling for addiction, and it's a tool for law enforcement, because I want to see individuals that are struggling get the help they need.
Would you adopt this deflection program?
Absolutely. As part of my plan, it is a strong emphasis on how do we connect people with treatment, how do we get people engaged in treatment, and really how do we put the support network around them so that they're successful ultimately. And that's been what I've pushed for from day one. And unlike that failed experiment of Measure 110, I'm someone that believes you have to engage. You have to really, dig in with individuals that are struggling if we want to see something better for our community as a whole.
There were a lot of groups who opposed this compromise measure, and they protested in Salem. They say that the law will disproportionately impact people of color. If you're DA, what would you do to make sure that doesn't happen?
Well, one of the great things about having over 2 decades of experience is that I've had the opportunity to build up what we call the Strategic Prosecution and Services Unit. It's something where we use data to carefully monitor things like this. And as the elected DA, of course I'm going to be looking at how do we approach this in a way that is not going to disproportionately impact communities of color, and also look at, are we doing what's in the best interest of those individuals that are struggling and the community? Because we really have to find a way to end open air drug use, but also help individuals that are struggling with addiction.